What sounds do you hear, and what images do you see when I say the word revolution? Do you hear gunshots and screams of agony? Do you see blood everywhere? But do revolutions have to be noisy and bloody? Madam Contest Chair, fellow Toastmasters and welcome guests, a revolution began 7 years ago in Cambridge, Massachusetts. But the revolutionary wasn't a loud Cuban man with a Spanish name. He was a quiet American student named Mark Zuckerberg. By now, many of you know that the revolution that I'm talking about is the creation of the social networking website, Facebook. Since then, Mark, who I've come to call the quiet revolutionary, has gone on to impact the lives of 600 million people by revolutionizing the way we connect online. And he has in the process become the youngest billionaire in history. How do I know this? I've seen the movie, The Social Network. And I've also read the book, The Accidental Billionaires, on which the movie is based. And this evening, I'm going to share with you 3 simple but powerful qualities that I've observed about Mark: passion, mindfulness, and doing what it takes. 3 qualities that I believe led to his enormous success. And I'll be doing so in a spiritual context, because the spiritual traditions that I come from emphasize that prosperity, when it is achieved in great service or through great service to mankind, is actually a spiritual blessing. So, the first quality that I observed about Mark is his passion. Throughout the movie, you see Mark sitting in front of the computer, absorbed in writing code, which is his passion. And when he's so engaged, he loses all sense of time. He forgets when it's time to eat, and he forgets when it's time to sleep. What do you think that's all about? Let's consider what Robert Pirsig, the author of the marvelous book Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance, had to say. Pirsig said that God exists equally in the petals of a flower and the circuits of a digital computer. When you see the look of bliss on Mark's face as he's engaged in his passion, it is clear he's actually having a spiritual experience. The second quality that I observed about Mark is his mindfulness. There's a key scene in the movie that shows a frat brother asking Mark if he knows a certain girl. And more importantly, is she going out with him? A light bulb goes off in Mark's head. He rushes back to his dorm room and creates the relationship status field in a user's Facebook profile. Do you think that that incident was just a coincidence? Let's consider what another revolutionary had to say. A man who's also influenced the lives of hundreds of millions of people. He said, "Ask, and you will receive. Seek, and you will find. Knock, and the door will be open to you. For he who asks receives, he who seeks finds, and to him who knocks, the door will be open." You see, whatever you're looking for is also looking for you. You just have to be mindful so that you recognize it when it appears. The third quality that I observed about Mark is his willingness to do what it takes. There's a key scene in the movie that shows Mark and 4 other Harvard students heading off from Cambridge, Massachusetts, all the way to Palo Alto, California. Why do you think they would do something like that? Give up their educations, a chance to get a degree from Harvard University. Let's consider what Willie Sutton had to say. Please don't be put off by the fact that Willie was a notorious bank robber. because the man had some insight. You see, when they said, "Willie, why do you rob banks?" He said, "Because that's where the money is." And speaking of money, you all know that there are 50 states in the United States. But did you know that 1/3 of the venture capital that is invested in startup companies goes to just one of those 50 states? Can you guess which state? Mark Zuckerberg went to California because that's where the money is. The saying goes that God helps those who help themselves. That statement is all about action. When you take a step in the right direction, a higher power is also going to take a step to help you. So, now, what sounds do you hear? And what images do you see when I say the word revolution? You hear keyboard clicks and screams of joy? Do you see computers everywhere? Revolutions do not have to be noisy, nor do they have to be bloody. In fact, I'm inclined to think that it would be easier to attract people to a quiet revolution rather than a noisy one. Would you agree? Yeah. Please raise your hand if you have a Facebook account. Oh, wow. Thank you. Those quiet revolutions sure can attract followers, can't they? Whether you're a Facebook user or not, I encourage you to read the book, The Accidental Billionaires, and then see the movie, The Social Network, because I'm sure that you will be as inspired as I have been by this remarkable story. And you'll see for yourselves that it was just 3 simple but powerful qualities: passion, mindfulness, and doing what it takes, that transformed an anonymous student into a quiet